I'm going to start it.
That's nice. Give it to him.
Welcome to Spectrum Podcast. Oh, that was low. Hold on.
You know what, though? I'm not feeling so low.
Oh, wait, you're not feeling low. No. This is Breezy.
This is Dani.
Welcome to another episode. Episode 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. I know. As I was writing it down right now in my notes, I put 2 little hearts next to it. They're big balls. Like ball sacks.
Yes, it does look like 2 nut sacks.
You want to check in?
Especially from this angle, because they're upside down on my side.
I'll give them nice little chodies.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like tulips. Can
you imagine if someone was like, your dick looks like a tulip? Foreskin for sure.
It's so funny. I'm like checking my text now. Yo, dude, I'll send you that. So I just asked Lizzie this morning. She and I did this funny ass song, dude. She and I wrote this funny ass song when she came and visited like months ago.
Uh-huh.
And we recorded. We like produced music for it. We wrote lyrics. We sang. It's funny.
Here in the studio?
Great. Mm-hmm. And the only thing we felt like it could use was maybe some drums or something like that, because we basically layered synths, and we're just like not good enough at finger drumming for me to use the drum pad, and I just haven't involved someone who's able to do that yet. So anyway, we have stopped shy of posting it, and then it kind of like occurred to me that it's pretty damn good, and I want to get it out there, and so I'm thinking you put it out there with just demo.
Yeah.
So it's like any version is.
That's so funny.
Yo, it's so funny. The lyrics are just like too pertinent too. We're just like in good bourgeois hawker form. That was our band name back in the day in LA.
Repeat that.
Bourgeois hawkers. Bourgeois hawkers. So a hawker is like someone who's selling something or vending something, and bourgeois is like out of use term for bullshit. So we were basically the bullshit vendors. Bourgeois hawkers. Yeah.
That's great.
So it's a fucking great name, right? And we used to do funny lyrics all the
that
time that
so
were on the
native
nose.
as fuck for 2 white girls.
That's funny. Bourgeois was more like, I think it comes from like something along the lines of making fun of the bourgeoisie, which is a French word for rich fuckers. Anyway, I got nothing against people with money. I just got a thing against people that are greedy, and it tends to be that these 2 things are correlated, let's say. What you got? Let's check in, girl. What's up?
You know what I was thinking? I wonder if people can tell by the sound like of our voices, because I was thinking about last episode and how I just felt so, low. And I wonder if people are coming back and they're just like, wow, is this bitch happy today? Like if they can tell. Do you think they know when we're not sober? Like, do you know?
Maybe.
They just might. I need feedback. I need people to tell me, oh, yeah, you sound as if you were, on a better one.
Tight. Do you guys know? Do you guys know when we're up? Do you know when we're down? Do you know us better than we know ourselves? Are you a reflection of me? Are you me? Is this all a simulation?
Yes.
Okay. Well. Back here in...
My mind is blown now.
Back here.
I need to, regroup. The spectrum is real for me, so stop it. Stop fucking with me. Everyone, we're happy today.
Yeah, that too.
Can you tell?
Buzz. Anyway. Yeah, mine's a little high.
I have a confession to make.
Okay. Is this your check-in?
Yeah, maybe. So I cannot nap. I don't know how to nap. I could just, people
I thought you took a 15-minute nap before we came here. That was like sleeping in.
Yeah. Anyway, yesterday I took a nap. The sun was still up. The sun went down. But it's the time of the year where the sun goes down a lot sooner rather than later, right?
Wow, you were so from Santa Barbara. You know what the rest of the world calls this season? Winter. Yes, it's winter when it gets dark faster.
Time zones are different now. Anyway, I took a nap.
SoCal much?
And I napped for way too long. I think like almost 3 hours, 3.5 hours. That's a long nap.
What'd I tell you?
It was almost 9 o'clock when I woke up.
Drink a cup of coffee, take a 20-minute nap.
Literally had an iced coffee next to me that I had finished. Like,
you were doing this all wrong.
I'm just saying it did not work out for me. Anyway,
that's not a power nap. 3-hour doze.
That's a whole ass nap. That's a whole sleep. Like, that's a good sleep for me.
That's like the amount of sleep EMTs and airplane attendants get. What the hell do you call them?
So my confession is I don't know how to nap.
Well, you, my dear, could not be a flight attendant then.
No, that's not my job. Anyway. So since my mom has been moving, I've been going through my closet and I'm getting rid of a lot of things. I'm posting stuff that I'm trying to get rid of. I might as well make a little bit of cash off of it because it's really nice items. Like,
see, you're hawking used clothes.
Yes.
Hawker.
So during my slumber, somebody messages me about one of the jackets that I had posted.
Nice.
And when I had originally posted it, it wasn't like for an excessive amount of money, but I definitely lowballed myself when I woke up and was like, because I just came out of this. It was just, do you call it a slumber? Like, what do you call that? What do you call a 3-hour nap?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's definitely, you definitely went past power nap and cat nap.
Totally discombobulated when I woke up. I'm just like, what the fuck? So I replied to this person,
old dog nap,
$15 for this jacket. And I'm a jacket person, and this jacket's from like the 70s. It's really cool. It's like this bright, fiery red, and it's a petticoat type of thing with like a suede material.
You
really
didn't
pretty.
think to show this to me before selling it for $15?
You know what, though? I didn't sell it.
Oh, so wait, you do
but
have
he was
it?
like, I do still have it. That's.
Ooh.
I feel so bad because.
What size?
It's really pretty. But the thing is, when I originally posted it, I was like, it's fine. I'll get rid of it. I mean, I've had it for so long. Time for someone else to love it. And it wasn't until someone was like, okay, I'm on my way. I was like, oh, no.
I regret everything.
I regret everything. And I replied back, and I literally my mom said no. Like, my mom won't let me sell this. And it was in Spanish, too, so I had to go back and forth from, like, the Google Translator.
Yeah, I was going to say, Dani doesn't really speak Spanish. Dani's mom speaks great Spanish. I felt so bad
because he was already on his way. I live in Isla Vista, so it's, you know.
¿Hablas español?
I just felt like such a cunt to be straight out of a nap, and I'm like, oh, yeah. First of all, I lowballed myself in that sale. 2, I've had this jacket since like middle school. So
you were about to sell it for 150 pesos. Maybe it's like 75 pesos.
I was just
don't actually know
the sad about it. And I was explaining to him,
I meant
it's
maybe
vintage, it's
300
beautiful,
pesos.
I don't understand peso math. I'm just saying. All I'm saying is, I had to explain to him that this jacket, it has a lot of sentimental value. And at the end, he's just like, send me a picture. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. My mom said no.
Oh my gosh.
And then he just like gave me a thumbs up and left. I was like, oh my God. I even gave him my apartment number and everything.
He's a nice guy.
I locked my door.
Yeah, he's going to come rob you now. But he was nice at least that one time.
I can't nap. And I definitely can't make decisions right after a whole.
So the moral
it's not a nap.
The moral of this story is that you need to take my lesson of what a good nap is and actually apply it to your life. People, a good nap is a power nap. Literally can look up this. There are studies done. There is an effective amount of rest your brain can get to maximize a nap. And if you want to like be extra trendy, you can start your nap by taking like, say, an espresso shot or a small cup of coffee. Then go ahead, nap for like 20 minutes with a little alarm thingy.
20-minute naps. It takes me 20 minutes to fall asleep.
If it takes you 20 minutes to fall asleep, set it for 40 minutes, assuming that you're hopefully going to sleep for 20 of it, okay? Just try it.
I just can't help it. I get cozy by like 7.
However, you might want to skip the caffeine if you're going to do it that way.
Watching a nice show.
If you do it the way that's proper.
And then I'll wake up like 4 hours later.
Let me fucking tell the people this. God damn it. She's too busy today. She's interrupting. So, you take your caffeine shot. You take a 20-minute nap. On the other side of 20 minutes, caffeine has been able to, infuse into your blood. So you're going to be starting to wake up from the caffeine at the same time that your nap has ended. Ergo, power nap. Awesome. Your brain has both rested and now you're like stimulating it on the other side. Good to go, my friends.
I'm going to say no.
Dani can't handle things like that. But for those of us that don't mind living within the confines of something that's actually useful, this is a useful thing.
You know what I've noticed, though? Even when I do go to bed, like it's bedtime for me, I literally might sleep 4 to 6 hours.
That's even better than me. I'm a constant waker throughout the night.
But I think some
people, but that's not even it. Some people, I was going to say, learn that when they first become parents. That was kind of familiar territory. It was more demanding or whatnot when I was in newborn stage and whatever with Arlie. However, I will say, I just drink water before bed. I pee throughout the night. The cat wakes me up. The kid wakes me up. Everything wakes me up. Everybody wakes me up. It's like why I try to have my vaporizer by the bed. Because honestly, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I take a little vape rip, then sleep comes more easily and maybe more longevitous versus if I attempt to just go back to sleep on my own, it's the next thing wakes me up.
I feel like if I did that, I would want to eat a sandwich and then get full and then have a nap. Or
fuck, dude, I'm underweight right now, and so in the middle of the night, I do get hungry, but I don't want to eat food in the middle of the night.
Wow,
that sounds like a bad idea.
I'm kind of overweight.
Share?
Other sides of spectrum?
Did you see that's why I bought the whole milk? I was like, fuck, I can't cut cows, bros. I need my whole milk in my coffee. Yeah, guys, I'm a skinny bitch. I can't help it. It's high metabolism. However, I have been like stressed from good life things, and I suppose I don't eat enough when I'm stressed. So let that be a lesson to me.
I just really
butter, whole milk. I'll be using the real thing. Flour in my cookies. Yeah.
They're not gluten-free right now?
They were, actually. But I just ate the last one with Arlie last night. Oh. So time for a new batch. And this one's going to be gluten-full.
Nice.
I
want some.
I have gluten-free friends that I was considering when I made that last batch.
Oh.
So.
Yesterday, I made apple cinnamon rolls that I saw on TikTok. Somebody literally just got
apple cinnamon rolls
that come in those cans that pop and scare everybody.
Pillsbury Doughboy,
whatever. Yeah,
I love that shit. But you don't even have it pop down here. Try it at high elevation. You do the little peel, and you're kind of like feel like you're holding a grenade because at any point it's gonna go off, and then you just like it. We used to do this growing up. You just barely tap it against the counter, and it goes, and you're like.
I definitely struggled with this, so that's kind of funny. I had to push the spoon into it kind of hard for it to finally bust.
We're at sea level. If you go up in altitude, my hometown's at 6,500 feet above sea level. We're at like 65 feet above sea level at your house. I wonder if
that makes a big difference for people who...
It changes baking. You always have to like add flour or increase temp or whatever. The time is different. It fucks with you.
I never would think of something like that.
They barely would denote it on, say, a box of brownies. It's like, high altitude, 2 tablespoons of flour.
I have something for you. Can you give me...
kibble? You like kibble? I got kibble.
Quick British accent. Muffin.
You have
commercial.
Okay, muffin. So if it's a muffin, that's highbrow Brit. You're like thinking,
but it has to be in British accent.
You're like Grey Poupon, right? But if you understand anything about the nation,
okay,
of Britain,
a scone. I want a blueberry scone.
Oh my god, Dani, ADHD today is just off the hook. I'm just trying to let you know there's these things called classes in that country, and different classes have different accents. So if you're talking about muffins, that's a high class accent, probably. Maybe not as high class as like the British elite, but somewhere up there. Versus, like, have you ever heard Adele talk? I'm not talking about sing, but talk.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lowbrow accent. She's a beautiful singer, but she has a working class accent. It's hilarious. She's like, thank you. And you're like, whoa, okay. Anyway, I love Adele. Okay, highbrow muffin commercial?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I gotta think of my Grey Poupon voice. Oh, Lisa, are you close? Right, people. Okay, all right. Muffins. Now, not just available in apple or pear. Muffins. They took her to the woods, they doused her in petrol, and they set her alight.
Ladies and gentlemen, British muffins. So they're not scones?
That last part, I want to say shout out to Paige and Bill Hader. And if you got the reference, awesome. And if not, I'll put like a link to make sense of it.
Oh, man.
But you could take muffins into the woods and set them alight. Cool.
The new Wakanda movie came out.
Yeah, Chris Williams put a funny post up. He was like, man, I really want to see Wakanda Forever, but I didn't realize I'd have to be in the theater forever to see it.
Oh, is it a really long movie?
Like 3 hours. I was like, dude,
well, fuck, man. If you're going to be spending like $20, $30
hey,
at a movie theater,
I
hope I come out a new person.
I'll sign up for a 3-hour movie if I can do it at the drive-thru, so we can just be, like doing what we do on the side.
I'm not going to use wear and tear on a vehicle for that.
What the hell?
You don't think so?
What?
Like, if you're at a drive-in watching a 3-hour movie?
Dude,
I mean, you have to have like a radio or some kind of like...
You just put out lawn chairs in front of your car.
I know, but what about your battery for that long?
What?
You have a truck, but for other people who don't have a truck like that...
I'm pretty sure they just have you like kind of Bluetooth in anyway, so you could probably just use a speaker there.
To the drive-in here in Santa Barbara, they're not even in business anymore, but...
Well, we're going to fucking go there with a projector and do it.
All I'm saying is after every end of the movie, there was at least 4 AAA cars there. I've seen Allstate. I've seen... They literally had posters of insurance there.
I'm a gold member.
You have a fucking truck that's... You're down to go see a 3-hour movie in your truck?
I said that I wanted to sit in lawn chairs. If you actually listen, Dani.
Yeah, something more
actually
comfortable.
Listening is what we try to do between talking. It's the thing that receives
Have
the
you
other
seen
side.
those movie theaters with like the beds and like the recliner chairs, like the lazy boy chairs?
I could imagine that, but bed? What do you mean bed? That doesn't make sense.
I feel like I'm
you're
too
talking
nasty.
You're talking about the hospital now, right? Like, I've seen that. I've been in a hospital bed.
No, there's like AMC theaters with like actual beds. I mean, unless the internet is lying, but...
No. No.
All I'm saying is...
The only truth is online. That's why you listen to us, because we're super fact-finding. Through my own perspective, which, how dare you question my own perspective? It's my imagination.
I just feel like I'm too nasty for something like that.
But you quit porn.
Did it? Oh, I did.
Wait, you had a slip up the other day. Did we talk about that?
We can.
Did we talk about it?
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry if we're repeating ourselves, but let's talk about it.
All right.
So did you actually go into porn this time, or you were watching porn again?
No, I was actually...
Were you OFing, or were you watching?
No, I was watching porn again. I know.
What's your channel of choice when you do this?
Like, what am I watching?
I mean,
Like,
I guess that's more specific.
What categories am I going
No,
into?
that's too specific. I just kind of meant like, where are you sourcing from?
Oh, like my websites.
Yeah. Content is coming from
the internet.
Well, yeah, that's a thing. The internet's a place.
Am I allowed to say like porn sites on the radio?
Maybe they'll we already say we're not.
All I'm saying, if you're watching
we're not
porn,
for kids. Here, wait, I'll give one of these.
Everybody can find porn.
If you have a problem with the idea that people have sexuality and that the sex industry exists, please tune out for the next 5 to 10 and then tune back in. Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. So, what science does Danielle use?
I just
Asking for a friend. I mean, I know
many.
I'm very
websites.
basic. So
then on like umbrellas of websites.
Oh, you leech? You let yourself clickbait out?
Sometimes.
Oh wow,
I have.
They love you.
There's so many different names.
But sometimes even when you
websites.
click on a video, I notice that it'll like.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I know, but I do have a private browser on my phone.
When I took the day to finally just like quit, I actually had to dump out like a library of things that I had saved. It wasn't even just like go on and find something.
Is this triggering for you?
I don't like girls.
For reference, I just pointed to my my friend Yasmin Santos. Shout out to her. She lives in Utrecht. I'm probably saying that wrong. It's out in the Netherlands or whatever.
It's basically a vase with pens with titties on it.
Yeah, she has handcrafted with
don't
apathy,
like
and I
girls.
have one of her vases with really beautiful tits. And I was just asking Dani if I was triggering her by having it on my desk.
Well, titties don't turn me on, so.
There you have it, folks. But for the rest of you, let me give you some ASMR of me petting my lady's tits. Hold on. Oh, yeah.
It's just, her nipples are so pointy already.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the day I decided to quit porn, I just had to delete a bunch of things that I had already had.
Oh, you were a hard drive type.
Yeah. Like USB. Like I didn't even want it attached.
But that's what real porn addiction probably looks like. I don't know shit. I just am like a every now and again voyeuristically casual.
Yeah.
Like I might pull up a site and then I'm just too lazy to even click through. So I'll just kind of like, it's like, it reminds me more of like looking through Instagram, but with little porno shots. And if you're going to hover for a second, like they move around and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It started in like junior high for me when I was watching like little snippets of Tumblr. Do you remember Tumblr?
Tumblr.
Jesus.
Wait, Tumblr. Yeah, but the only use of Tumblr I had was for Bourgeois Hawkers. We had a Tumblr. yeah, fuck you. I'm old. So for Bourgeois Hawkers, we had a Tumblr blog site, and that was kind of like probably like our, what now would be maybe considered.
Like Instagram girls.
Well, if Instagram was big enough, then maybe, but more like what I would call an electronic press kit, an EPK. It was just a place to find our band online. Yeah.
Being an Instagram model and an influencer is an actual thing. Like people will say that as their occupation.
Right. Okay. So this whole thing that we're doing, right? I want to be more like a comic and a personality and a person out in the world and an entertainer.
Don't take my
And
influence.
also, but listen, we're content creators, right?
Sure.
Okay, sure. However, Eric, my husband's like such a fucking noob to everything when it comes to this. He was like really just trying to pontificate about it honestly and quantify in his head like how my career choices are being made and what the fuck it is. And so he was like, oh, so you want to be like an influencer? And I was like, that face. I was like kind of like offended. I was like,
I twitch.
what? Like I don't even wear makeup, Eric. I don't use fucking filters and I barely post. Like what the fuck do you think an influencer is? God, I'm not like holding Coca-Cola and sipping it midway and being like,
We should go.
and by the way, Coca-Cola over Pepsi, people.
I'm not one to do this, but I think it'd be really funny if we went through both our boyfriend or
Well, he thought
both
it was nuanced, but I didn't, and neither do you. But that is to say,
Followers.
we are content creators. We're definitely not influencers, and thank you for knowing the difference. And for those of you who didn't, like, I'm sorry if I've been influencing you. But I
don't recommend it.
Well, I don't believe in that because I barely believe in anything. I'm not a wishy-washy person. I do hedge my beliefs though because I just like want to be able to get along with most people and have good dialogue, and I don't super hugely thrust my opinions on others for that reason because I don't feel strongly enough about them to fucking impinge upon whatever the fuck you believe in. I'm more of like a live and let live type. So yeah. Just to say.
The stunts you're about to witness is performed by amateurs, and I do
I think
recommend.
influencers are more people who are very opinionated and want to give a lot of like advice or show you how to do a thing or are skilled.
You're like in a walking opinion.
Okay, opinion. Right, they're skilled at something and would either want to show you that, or
My brain is picking.
or they like want to be specific or something. And we're wanderers of thoughts.
We're a spectrum.
Yeah, we're a spectrum
on the Spectrum podcast.
Oh no! Don't hold back. Keep yes. Thank you. Okay, I think it's time for us to do some prepared sections if we have them. Segments, sections, segments.
I'm on my last day of my period.
That's fun.
I'm wearing the lightest pants.
It's like the thing about doing these 1 week apart.
You know what's so funny? I didn't actually put a tampon in when I went inside the bathroom. I was like, you know when you pee again, there's like nothing at all?
Oh my God, wait, you know what's so funny? Most men don't know that you can pee with the tampon in. Isn't that funny? And then they're like, wait, I literally saw someone interviewing guys on, maybe it was a TikTok put onto Instagram, and she was just asking men in the park, like, about very simple tampon things. And one of the questions was, can a woman pee with the tampon in? And the one she showed, they're like, oh, no, definitely not.
That's
We're like,
so
I don't know.
funny. I feel like most men won't figure it out until they have a female in their lives that they're so close to.
Man, that actually makes me want to.
I feel like men are so disgusting enough to want to be up in your business if they love you enough, or just disgusting enough to find out how deep or how it goes as a tampon inserts inside of you.
Yeah, they don't know.
Because, Alex walked in on me putting in a tampon, and he opened the door, and instead of shutting the door like, oh, I'm so sorry, he just like zoned in and was just like, what are you doing?
Can I read to you? So I thought that video was hilarious, and I as you and I constantly are sending videos back and forth, I sent it to my cousin Steven, who is gay and I love, and I was like, this is funny. I want him to I want to see what he said. And I sent it to him, and then he replies to me, I assume with basic logic that the string wouldn't be affected if you peed. So yes, you could pee with the tampon in? I've never asked the girl, but is it correct? And he does like the sideways laughing face because he's like, shit, I've never thought about it. Can you? And I like laugh back at that. And I'm like, dude, it's totally fine to pee with it in, shower with it in, hot tub with it in, built tampon tough. And then he responds,
I would not get in a hot tub with the tampon.
Built tampon tough. He like,
oh my gosh.
He thought that shit was hilarious.
Tampon tough. That's disgusting.
Did I send you this one? The bear in Tahoe that's like just derping around, grabbing shit from this 7-Eleven.
Can you imagine what that bear says to his friends? Like, they're not going to do nothing.
I know.
What are they going to do?
So the owner of the 7-Eleven is just laughing.
Yo,
whoever's
if I was
working
a big
is just
bear
laughing
like that,
every time.
I would definitely break in. Not even break in. I would just walk into a store.
That's it. He just does
take what I wanted because...
That's what he does. He just walks in. He just pushes the 7-Eleven door open and grabs like candy and leaves.
Is he like a regular?
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart bear.
So, yeah. It's so funny. It says, this bear comes to this 7-Eleven every day to grab some snacks. And if you like have the shit on, it's like the guy's laughing.
Just
get out of here.
Just taking snacks. Can you imagine one day he just throws like a $10 bill?
Fucking laughing. Anyway, so
that's how we know we're in simulations.
Okay, well, earlier we were talking about how our voices will go up and down, and when our energy changes, like we're Geminis, everything's out there, where our emotions are masks that we wear or on the cuffs of our sleeves or whatever the fuck you want to say.
And I feel like because we do this every week, like every week that we go through, we just kind of have to, we're getting better at, regrouping it by the end of the week and doing this thing. So I'm carrying what I've been through throughout the week with you guys.
And yeah, and so anyway,
you guys are hearing me when I'm low, when I'm high.
I'm doing and this to me, this is a perfect build up into kind of what I wanted to share this week.
Yeah.
And so like a thing that we get to do as good friends, as best friends together is offload what we're feeling. And we're sharing this with an audience because we've decided to have a podcast that's just for entertainment, and we try to make people laugh, but we're also trying to be real in ourselves. So authentically so, we show up and we share some of the same things that we talk about with each other anyway.
Yeah.
That friendship is awesome, and that ability to feel as if we have an ally in the world or someone who understands us is, dude, it's probably like, I don't think you can survive without it. I think
without a best friend?
Without human connection. And
I think I could.
Well, you couldn't. And just keep listening.
You
actually exceptionally could not. You can't even fucking be away from your mom when you hate each other. Like, stop. Just stop yourself and don't interject. Now listen. Okay. So, no, it's actually what I'm getting into is real numbers and stuff. So it's like, fine, you want to like pretend and speculate, but let me say this shit. I'm giving you
my whole attention starting now.
So actually, like, super sadly so, people are sad in this country. People are really sad and lonely. And chronic loneliness is a real ass fucking thing. Literally 22% of adults in the US suffer from what's considered chronic loneliness. And chronic loneliness is something that comes when you don't feel connected with people. You don't feel seen. You don't feel as though you have community. Mm-hmm. We as species have wound up in these weird societies. They have strange structures to them. I'm not so sure that it's very reflective of our biological needs as humans. What those are considering of are things that you find in smaller societies that look more like past versions of what we used to have, maybe like Western culture, that is to say, lives in a weird way. So if you, even in Eastern culture and stuff, or in Latin American culture, any culture where you at least keep old people around and give them a fucking function is a little bit more like pragmatic than the way that Western culture treats, like, say, old people and young people. Like, we have this dumb shit where like old people are useless and young people are a burden, but rather than like putting the two of them together like they do in traditional societies,
everyone's a burden.
But that's how we treat it in Western society. Like, we treat it like everyone's a burden, and that the only people that matter are the ones who are working, because in Western society, capitalism is kind of what controls everything. And if you're not working and putting money into the system by taking it out and earning it and then buying shit, you aren't considered fucking important in that culture. And so then old people who are retired and no longer part of that, and young people who are not yet eligible to be part of that, are burdens, because they aren't generating anything. They're just taking, right?
Yeah.
So in capitalism, that's the way you look at it. And that's how our Western cultures are. And there's a lot of sickness that comes from there's a lot of sickness that comes from that. Because if you're not fitting into the cogs and the wheels of that society, if you stand out in any way, if you're too old, if you're too young, if you're too fucking weird, you're lonely. You don't have people. You don't feel seen. You don't feel like you belong. You don't feel like the society serves you or you are part of it. And that can be one of those things that drives fucking loneliness, dude. And chronic loneliness is super problematic. And the thing I was trying to say earlier about like traditional societies that are smaller is everyone has a role. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, everyone has a role. If you look in village societies, the most capable bodied people are the ones that'll be the hunters, the gatherers, the crafters.
Yeah.
The oldest people will watch the youngest people and educate them and keep them safe and teach them things. They both have a purpose there. The younger learning, the older passing down the knowledge and keeping them safe. And then the people who are like the odd men out, like the intersexed people, were the ones who got to teach about what the differences of roles and gender and stuff was. So like everyone had a place, right? And there wasn't a way for you to feel this like loneliness that in the society the way we now have it comes from all sorts of situations. Like,
I just think distance and technology make a big
that's one of them too. There's this strange thing that comes with this invisible connectivity of internet all the time, which is that on the one hand, you're more connected than ever, and it's easier than ever to maybe like reach out to someone via text, email, a DM through something, a post.
Yeah. Or communities online also.
There's so and in some cases those online communities I think, satiate this loneliness factor for people. So that can be good. But then in other ways, it can amplify it, because even though you have that community online, when if you get too sucked into only a world that's online,
no, you're right.
You become afraid of the regular world, and you still are fucking lonely.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people are still lonely even in their own homes with a full-on family. So.
And that's another thing, like, I, as a mom, have early, and a lot of moms feel this early on in, after having the baby, you get that kind of postpartum thing. That's a feeling of extreme loneliness too. To be a person in a state of depression is in loneliness. So there's all sorts of places where loneliness crops up. And if you want to look at the way that the statistics roll out, it's what I said earlier. 22% of adults in the U.S. suffer from chronic loneliness. What does that, like, actually indicate, dude? It shortens your life literally as much, if not more, than smoking 15 fucking cigarettes a day.
Wow.
It shortens your life more than being obese.
Hell yeah.
Yep. And it shortens your life more than a sedentary lifestyle, which means like someone who like is like never gets out and exercises and is like very like video gamey and at home and stuff. It shortened, even if that person's not lonely.
I know all of these different types of people.
Yeah, of course you do. It's America. Like you're like, oh yeah, I know all those people. And I feel like, so then it contributes also.
Who are all kind of lonely too.
Right. And so like having a friend keeps you from being lonely, but it's special, dude. Shit. I'm like, celebrate this. Also, I think about this, and thank you so much. If you let us come into your home, this is a form of us reaching out and trying to keep you from feeling lonely. We are here for you. Get at us at spectrum.pod on Instagram. You guys can DM us or whatever. We'd love to hear from you. We are at Rare Girl, RareGrrrl. That's 3 R's. Rare Girl on YouTube, and like get at us, because seriously, we want to be like here for you. Don't be lonely. Thank you for listening. We want to be your friends too, so thanks for inviting us into your home.
I hope that was one of you guys,
dude, because you know what, it's cute though. It was probably a picture of Arlie, because it's a bright whale notification. So love is medicine, y'all. Love is medicine, and having friends and having relationships is where love grows. Like, relationships are literally essential to the well-being of us, to our health.
Oh yeah.
So and that can be through a dog. Danny just reached down to pet my dog. Like, you guys, cats, dogs, those are people too. Those are relationships too. It's don't suffer from loneliness. Reach out. Like, this is how you can actually do.
You're so passionate about it. I can see in your eyes. You're getting emotional.
Because I feel like it's so sad that people are sad from that.
Yeah.
Because okay.
It's okay.
As an extreme extrovert, I have huge periods of like being a cave person to like reclaim and recharge my energy. But when I'm out in the world, like all I want to do is spread joy. And outside of me in my car, like I know I'm like, dude, I'm a fucking road rage mouth in the car. But I swear to God, it's just like butthole leakage out of my mouth so that I don't actually have rage on the other side. But aside from that, I really try to conduct myself in a way that's like positive in the world, and I want to bring joy to people. And so I charge up so that when I'm out in my day, the simplest of interactions that I have are in invitation for me to practice my comedy. I have someone there for like 2 minutes of a checkout stand experience. I try to lightly interact with them and make them laugh. Like, my interactions in the world on a day-to-day basis is where I practice comedy, and where I try to bring joy to just some fucking random stranger. Like, I don't care who they are. Like, I just want them to be like joyous in a moment because we're alive and next to each other. And if I can give that joy to people, because there's times when I'm fucking not joyous at all, dude, but there's times when I am. And so when I am, I want to share it. Like, and when I'm not, I try to be a cave person and recharge.
Well, yeah, life is a joke. The only thing you're promised is death, and that's pretty lonely.
I want to share my love. Comedy to me is love. Laughter is love. That's my medicine. Baby, I want to give it to all of you. If I make you happy at all, fucking yes. If I don't, I'm super sorry. Then tune out. Please don't stay here if you're sad from me. Aww. I don't want that.
Just share your love boner experiences with us.
Yo, dude, because here's the reality. You ready for this?
Give it to me.
2 bomb drops, guys. Okay, 45,000 people per year commit suicide in the U.S. And that's been rising.
That sucks.
That's been rising.
And
around the world, do you know how many it is? You want to give a guess? You don't have to. It's sad.
Give it. I don't even want to guess.
About 800,000 people a year kill themselves, commit suicide around the world. And that's just what's
part of me
attributed to suicide.
So half of me is like...
I'm not even sure that... Sorry, just to finish that point, I'm not even sure that includes worldwide or whatever. Say...
Yeah.
Deaths from things like overdoses. Overdoses oftentimes are very intertwined with people's
who commit
loneliness.
Suicide.
And I would say that oftentimes is a form of committing suicide. I'm not sure if these numbers actually includes that or not, but I would just like to point out that I think that counts.
But that makes sense also. Yeah. A part of me...
Because I've lost people that way a lot.
Part of me is just, very empathetic. I think that is just like, yeah.
We're Geminis.
I've lost people to suicide for sure.
Yeah.
To some really gruesome fucking... Some of those stories are actually like, whoa, you had the balls to do that? That's insane. Because it takes fucking guts to kill yourself.
It's hard.
Because I've been there. I've had those thoughts. But the other half of me is like...
It's true.
It's a fight of the tough.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't want to say tough shit, but like...
Well, the will to survive is something that only can come from inside of each of us. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at. It's like you have got to find your own drive and will to survive. However, I would like to postulate that one of the things that helps people find purpose, which when you can attach yourself to purpose, life then has some form of meaning. And something that forms both purpose and meaning in life is relationships with other people, having community, and you can recover from loneliness. There is every really reason, like if you can be every bit lonely coming out of the pandemic and stuff, but guess what, dude? I was hella lonely during the pandemic. I'm an extreme extrovert. There was no music to go to. There was no places to recharge outwardly. Like 2 weeks of doing Zoom fucking dance at parties was fun, and that was about it. So
people did that?
I guess I fucking suffered.
That's fucking pathetic.
I suffered in ways. I suffered in ways during the pandemic because I was lonely. I missed human interaction and stuff, and I turned to weed, dude. I smoked so much fucking weed to get through it.
But it also worked out because you had a newborn or you had a baby.
I mean, I was burning out on being a mom when the pandemic set in. Arlie and I had been home together already for just over a year at that point, and I had chosen to do that for about 10 months to a year. I was privileged enough to do that, and it was wonderful. But then I was really excuse me. For like 6 months of that, I had started to ramp up my work from home stuff, and it became hard for me to balance, and that was before the pandemic even set in. And so I had been anticipating getting some childcare, and then it's March of 2020, and March 15th, we were literally in Mammoth when it shuts down mid-weekend, the one trip we had planned for the year, and we'd just gotten back from the only time we had ever been to Sweden in the winter, which was like, bless that trip, because we then didn't make it back to Sweden for over a year and a half. Generally, which we usually make it every summer, so only about a 11 or 12 month interval in between going. My husband's from Sweden. All his family's there. We have a ton of friends there. We now have a kid. We always make a point of getting back there anyway. So it was lucky that we at least got there. But dude, I got stuck with her at a point where I was already burning out as a mom, and I thought I was going to get help. So yeah, the pandemic was messy for me in many ways. I was already in I like to call it a personal pandemic, because when you become a mom and you're this, do you know how many people hear me and they're like, oh, that's not what a mom talks like? It's like, yeah, like I'm not a traditional mom, dude, but fuck you for thinking you know what the fuck a mom is. I'm a good mom. I care so deeply for my child.
I know you're a good mom. I've seen you.
I'm not like trying to make a declaration like it matters, but it's just like it was hard. I burned out because good parents take care of themselves first, and I wasn't able to take care of myself in the pandemic because the things I do for self-care is spend time with my friends, is go to comedy, is like dance my ass off at like live music. And those things were like generally not available.
Well, you and a lot of other people.
Until later. We figured out when comedy was available, we started going to comedy. We started doing that. Like that wasn't like the pandemic wasn't over yet when we started doing that stuff. Like we're here today because we finally started coming out, and it was like, yo, dude, I shifted it into like 7th gear for this year. 2022 was like, let's compensate for every fucking bit of like loneliness that came from becoming a new mom, from being in a pandemic with the rest of the world, from not having good coping mechanisms besides smoking weed. Like, come on, dude. This year's been tight. We've done so much. We started a podcast. We've both been like broken our fucking virgin seals of having done stand-up comedy.
I'm a virgin.
No. Bitch, you is not. In any way, we've been up on the stage many times. We've met new communities of people. We maybe are respected for actually making people laugh. I don't know. I don't know, but y'all can at me.
I lost a boy to suicide once. It was really shitty.
Yeah.
I actually really loved him.
That sucks.
Because I felt like we were the same person. The way he understood me. He was schizophrenic, actually.
Yeah.
But I really did love him in a way that I wouldn't be able to explain to anybody. And my like boyfriend at the time, I think he knew. But I couldn't help it. I couldn't help but love him. I was so intertwined with the way he would speak to me and the way he would let me speak. I would literally get a message at him at 3 a.m. talking about the most ridiculous thing. That's why I questioned a lot of things about not myself, but the way I thought, the way I would keep all these thoughts to myself, because I felt if I were to share these, people would definitely know that there's something wrong with me. But not that there's something wrong with me, but there's something just dark or twisted, but in a way that's just, I can't help it. It just is, and it's hilarious to me though.
Yeah, but then you don't want someone to judge and be like, take it the wrong way.
No, I've got some really. There's even times when I have certain thoughts where I'm just like,
call the cuckoo house.
That's
on
a sin, and I need help, or I need to. But it's just a thought that travels through my mind, but I would never act upon. But it's kind of like the things that I think about when people. It's. Maybe I'm going off track.
No, you're not. Actually, I'll let me interject and say, in like the coaching and kind of psychology worlds, what you're describing is sort of either the monkey mind or like the shadow voice that's sort of inside of our heads. Well, and a lot of times there's messages
of those.
Right, but there's messages that come from those areas that like sometimes contain information, sometimes don't, but it's all about learning how to ride through it and like pass it away and not always act on it, you know?
As I was getting to know James, I really fell in love with the weirdness of his brain and how he tickled my brain, like literally.
I actually think that people like us just really appreciate eccentricities in others.
You know what the most fucked up thing is? We talked about suicide. We talked about like our thoughts
but probably not from a personal perspective.
No, totally, like just absolutely. If I were to do it, this would be like we were laughing about fucking suicide, because I'm telling you, this boy had been on different types of psychotic drugs since he was a young boy.
Antipsychotics.
Since he was very young. Yeah. I mean, his father's a doctor who prescribes only medications. Like, he only prescribes, like, I don't know. Honestly, it's a really fucked up situation. And I just feel like he was handed the most, the injustice of his life. Really sucked. But as I was falling in love with this person with his brain, we talked about suicide, and we talked about, and that's how he hung himself. I'll just tell you.
Damn.
He hung himself
with a belt or something.
Yeah. Fuck. He fucking hung himself in his own house. In his room,
like from the fucking pole in the closet.
And all I could think of was,
damn, dude,
you weren't gonna do it that way.
See what I mean about tropes?
I'm just so.
I'm sorry,
you said you weren't gonna do it like that.
I didn't mean to make fun of suicide.
No, it's fine.
No, and I also just want to say, if anyone is struggling with their mental health, please reach out. Suicide is a real fucking thing, and there is a hotline number. So yeah, dial 988 if you guys need any help. 988 is the suicide and crisis lifeline. They're open 24 hours.
Or you can just text me.
They speak English and Spanish or DM us, but we're not trained professionals. We're just fucking weirdos who understand.
We're probably a lot like people who want to just fucking...
Well, both of us know what it is to have those thoughts be up in our heads. It doesn't mean that we would ever
No,
act
I mean,
on
especially when I was going through my family trauma, my porn addiction, my disassociation from my own body during like actual intercourse.
Right.
I was so unhappy and I thought it was me, but no, I was just in a really unhealthy relationship.
Yeah, I think...
And I'm super codependent, so...
The scariest...
We got problems we need to work on.
That's the scariest moment I ever had, was feeling just not able to connect with my daughter at one point over the summer when we were in Sweden, and then having this thought of like, if I can't connect and I can't offer you the pure love that you deserve and the support that you deserve, that you're better without me. And that was the scariest thought I've ever had. It was scary, dude. It was fucking terrifying. I think I was like texting you during that because I was like, oh my God. Dude. And I was like, this is like brie off pot. That was probably like week 3.5. Like the gummies have run out. I'm no longer microdosing like cannabis. And I'm not going to say that I feel dependent on it per se, but I definitely felt darker without it.
Word. I got you.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, this has been a bit of a descent into darkness. It was also a weird place because of everything I said before. Like 2022 has been a high octane year for me. I've been saying yes to the universe a lot. Been getting a lot of good things coming from that. It's been sweet. And then I like hit pause in my whole life to go to Sweden for a month, and I already like dampen who I am to kind of fit in there. No offense to them. It's like, I'm just a lot, dude. People tell me I'm fucking intense here, and like Swedes are not as loud and outgoing and fucking boisterous as us. They are not. And I don't want to, I want to fit in. And if I can't speak fluent Swedish, then I'm going to like at least try to like be more timid or more like, you know what I mean? Subdue myself to fit in. So it was weird to do that when I'm on high octane. And then it felt like I was lying or something. And then that felt disingenuous. And then it was like, now I don't have cannabis to help me like feel lighter about the world.
Word.
I don't have my friends to help me fucking just be like, blah, blah, blah. Life is weird.
Sometimes when you talk to
hard.
me, when you talk to me and you go off and like you're like, you just keep on going.
Yeah.
I feel like you're physically, like I could feel the words hit the center of my forehead between my eyebrows.
That's intense. That's why people tell me I'm intense.
So when you speak to me for a long period of time, which could be like maybe 30 seconds, for me, like
a whole 2-second thought.
I physically feel your words smack my forehead and then they just stay in there. But that goes for a lot of other people, actually. It's not just you. Just when people are speaking to me. But I feel like I just have a shorter span with you. But when someone, like my last job interview, which I nailed, I'm just saying, as we were speaking back and forth, you know, obviously this interview went longer than expected. Maybe not expected. Maybe I'm just being sarcastic on that. But as she was speaking to me about, I don't know, policies, or she was just talking.
I don't know. Some shit to do with this fucking job she was offering me.
After a while, I literally thought I was going cross-eyed, but like the other, like parakeet cross-eyed, not like,
oh my God,
like ooh woo. No, it was more like
It was more like when a dyslexic person has to read a paragraph out loud. That's you.
I can read out loud really great.
No, I just mean like when a dyslexic person has to read a paragraph out loud in class, they get all discombobulated and their brain's like,
so funny? When I was in class, because I knew of my issues back then, I would actually read ahead in case I had got called on.
That's wise. You're smart. Jesus Christ. That's great.
Oh.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying every time.
Were you like not giving yourself credit for that? That's like intelligent. That's what people do. That's called a coping mechanism.
I just didn't want to fuck up and like.
Yes, well, but
kids are fucking mean, dude. They would just like.
Right. So like, but that's smart.
You know?
You learned a coping mechanism for like something that wasn't easy for you, and then that helped aid you, and that's what's up.
Dude, I was picked on. I went to Roosevelt.
And for Santa Barbara,
if you guys are listening and
there's a lot of money here and there's a lot of poor people here. I can only imagine.
And you went to elementary with me, you were a fucking cunt, dude. You were a cunt ass kid. I don't know you as an adult, but you're probably not a cunt as an adult.
I don't know you, but I hate you.
But you might be.
I don't know you.
You might still be a cunt.
But I hate you. You know?
You made little me weird, and I love it, but
the only person
fuck you guys
that I really wonder about that like got truly lost in my childhood, Oroville Butson. If you're out there, what's life like for you?
You know what's so funny? In elementary, there was this kid there, German kid, accent and everything. I had the biggest crush on him, like all throughout elementary, and then he just moved. Right, his name was Max. But
no, it's probably Mox.
All I'm saying is I have a type.
Maximilian.
For sure.
Was he blonde?
He was.
And
like,
white?
Blonde, like
German,
towhead blonde.
German AF.
Yeah.
Yeah, blondes. There's a lot of German blondes. German men blondes. I was like, German blonde. Sometimes it's hard to remember that I'm supposed to enunciate. Yeah. Anyway, it's getting to that time.
Sweet.
What you got for me, or where we at?
We don't even have to meet that. We'll figure it out.
I don't know if I have the privilege, but I'm gonna try.
Isn't that just life?
Dude. I don't know if any of us is privileged enough to be here longer than we are. Remember, guys, every moment is the only one you have. There is no past. There is no future. There is only right now. So don't get lost in the past or too many hopes for your future. Nothing matters, and I love you.
That's very much true.
Thanks. This has been Breezy.
And this has been Dani. Thank you guys so much for sticking around.
We call this endurance, people, and you've got it. And then for your hard work getting this far, we're gonna take it out today with a special thing. It's me.
By the Bourgeois.
Yeah, it's like sort of the Bourgeois Hawkers risen. Let's call it that. Brought to you by the Bourgeois Hawkers Risen. We give you Daddy Bays.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna call up my boyfriend Johnny.
Oh, yeah?
Show him my tits.
No way.
He'd love my tits on screen.
That's naughty.
And a little picture of my cooter, too.
Big brother for the win. Daddy Bays bringing home the bacon. Use the screens for sin. It's cool. Watching.
Take it off. Take a pic.
We're all watching.
Then take it off. Take a pic. Then take it off.
You can call me on the FaceTime. We'll three-way with the FBI. Watching my moves, but it's so confusing. Just can't stop content from queuing.
Big brother for the win. Daddy Bays bringing home the bacon. Use the screens for sin. It's cool, we're all watching. We're all watching. Can't run from this geotag. Find my phone while you find my bag. If you wanna use my USB, then it's NDAs like 1, 2, 3.
Big brother for the win. Daddy Bays bringing home the bacon. Using screens for sin. It's cool, we're all watching.
What? Oh.
Yeah,
We're all watching.
Oh, you naughty, naughty boy.
I think I like that. Yeah, I like it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh.
What's so naughty?